What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Courtroom. This is Dylan, George, Nick, and John.
Oh yeah.
And
tonight
we just
all here.
We just got out of The Killing Joke. We got to see it in theaters. I think you said it's tonight is the only night viewing. So
no, there's another. They added another night.
And this is what, a couple weeks before it actually drops out on DVD?
No, it's out.
I think it comes out like Friday.
Friday?
It's already out? Oh, wow.
Next week. I don't know. It's out digitally. I don't know if it's out.
Well, we're here, and we just got out of it, and
we're in the parking lot.
We're hoodcasting.
We're hoodcasting. Yeah, we didn't want to wait, so
we got our own security over there too.
And the whole squad is here, so it's exciting times.
And Porter is sketchily looking at the police officer over there.
What? Yes, he is.
We good. We good.
Why are you shook? Did cops scare you, sir?
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
After leaving that movie, a lot of things scare me. So, well, gentlemen, what do we think? I mean, that was pretty, it's been a while since I've actually read that, and that, after leaving
Hold on. So, once again, at this point in the podcast, we should remind you that this contains major fucking spoilers. If you're interested in seeing this movie and you don't want to ruin, please shut the thing off, because we're going to talk about it and
do that before listening.
Yeah.
Also, the graphic novel that you read also contains spoilers, so it's kind of like based pretty much directly off that. Besides a few things in the story. What?
No, it absolutely was
yes,
not.
Yes, it did. Are you kidding me?
No, yeah,
it was. Are you being serious now?
I'm being completely 100% serious.
Exactly.
Okay, so the spoilers are done.
Yeah,
so now we're going on to spoiler territory. So
now me and Nick can fight. Let's go, round one.
Yeah. So let's
kittens versus cobwebs.
let's start it off. I mean,
ahead,
so what did everyone think of I guess the Batgirl intro story to kind of add a little bit more depth into it? Yeah. What did everyone think about that?
Go ahead, Nick.
Very strange. What did I think of it?
Yeah, go ahead. You seem to be mad about it or something.
No, I'm not mad about it. I understand why they did it. I think there's a lot of weird decisions that were made with this. Obviously, they wanted to do an R-rated Batman for a long time, and this was a story that they, either wanted to get off their chest or felt like, The Killing Joke itself was very short. When The Killing Joke started, the movie, for you guys, obviously that haven't seen it or whatever, it's in two parts. And the first half of it, maybe half an hour or so, is a different story that's kind of like a precursor to The Killing Joke. And then the second half is the original graphic novel, which is why I was just going to quarter, because it's totally fucking bullshit. It's two separate movies put together in conjunction. And it seems like the first one, I don't know.
You're talking about the Batgirl story.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was a huge Batgirl story. And I mean, like I said to you guys earlier in the restaurant, we went out to eat earlier. We were talking about this. Someone was saying early on that it was there to explain or to make something, be more transparent or to give more background or whatever. And I didn't feel like it was that at all. I feel like it was just, if they had released The Killing Joke by itself, it would have been too short. Yeah, I think they were looking for content.
Even that wasn't like super long for like a full
No, it
movie,
was very, very short.
Even with the added story and the added stuff like that, yeah, I agree. But I think it gave a little more depth to Barbara's character, I guess, right? I mean,
made you care a little bit more. Yeah.
Rather than this whole like, hey, she's just a character who just this tragedy happens to her. Again, I'm kind of being vague, but I know we already said spoilers. I think it gave more feel, more,
It definitely. I think it. Especially on Batman's side, because it really shows him having to step up and not give in, which is always like part of like the Joker's plan, is to try to get him to break, but because you have that love between them now, so now it's not just Batman's partner or someone that he has I guess a friendship with. It's like a love interest, and it's like they're actually in love. And of course there's the sex scene, which kind of makes it way more intimate and stuff, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, adding it adds to Barbara, that story, because now you're caring about this character. And then there's also the added stuff to Batman too, where he cares more now too.
Well,
they touched on that too.
To be there, the story would have held up on its own. I mean, it's enough to have what happened to the Gordons happen. It's enough, and you know what I mean? Again, I think they were just kind of trolling for content. I really don't think that it explained anything, or it certainly didn't make me care more about.
I was going to say, I don't think it has anything to do with explaining. I think it just has to do with trying to add a little bit more connection between them both and you to them too. Because The Killing Joke is just a very morbid story anyways. So now you're going to be going into this where it's mostly a Joker fan movie, because you have like this quote unquote origin story, which is, correct me if I'm wrong, this is like pretty much one of the only like really in-depth like Joker origins that we have.
I think they were supposed to be doing like an official one coming out that announced something like that.
Right, but it's always been like super vague.
I'm pretty sure.
But
he prefers it to be multiple choice, he said.
I love that actually. When he was talking about like in the upside down room there, that was a cool little there could be different versions of it, or different, I don't know, that's cool.
Of his past or whatever?
That's what he said. He goes, there's multiple versions, that's why I choose to pick, you know.
Right.
That was really cool. There's lots of quotable stuff in that movie. I know you pick on me for not liking that.
Here's the crime.
I loved it, dude. Even the edge of the abyss and like, you know, like, that was a cool movie.
Dude, I am glad that you said that, because obviously I'm a big dialogue guy, so hearing you say that, which you don't really address it as much, but like that's cool.
I like pretty visuals. I like things blowing up. I like
Michael
Michael Bay.
Well, I'll speak to that real quick. Like, how about the like for, you know, as much as the Barbara Gordon story really didn't need to be there, like that hotel scene, the animation of that was pretty fucking ridiculous. That fight scene.
I think it was a little bit of a nod to like the Batman animated series. I thought it was cool style, because like the way the last few DC movies have been done, they're so like fine-tuned and like computer done. You can tell, whereas this looked a little more,
it looked like a comic book. Yeah, like there was at least 5 different scenes that I saw, and I was like, our producer was paying attention to that scene, you know what I mean?
And even in the beginning, actually, to everyone that's listening, there's like this little like intro where Mark Hamill is kind of explaining like the history of what he went through, and then of course like the history of like Batman's that he was watching, and then how he kind of like incorporated that into his, and I thought that was kind of cool, because you see like certain scenes where Batman's like standing there. Remember where it says like Gotham and it shows like the storage and it's like blinking out, whereas in like the
Rage.
I was gonna say like little things like that, I was just like, oh wow, that's kind of like homage to like the old like you know like series and stuff, so that was kind of fun.
You touched on the R rating earlier though. I was like waiting for the big moment where like this really got its R rating. There was not much language, no nudity, which is completely fine. But I mean, there's no. What was that really R-rated for? I mean, some violence, I guess. But even that, like,
you're looking at it from an adult point of view. You're not looking at it from a standard consumer point of view. Like, you can't tell that story. The whole story. All right. First of all, dragging Jim Gordon around in bondage.
You're right. No, I get that scene, but still,
that whole scene just gets X'd. Getting people shot in the head graphically.
Not showing anything. I mean,
they show people get shot full force in the head.
And the Joker in the Dark Knight series didn't slam the pencil through the guy's face and have the two guys fight with a pool stick to the death and cut a guy's throat. Like, I mean,
but it's not animation.
He took his cheek and he's like, I mean, I don't know. I just think that.
It's not animation.
If you didn't give this an R-rated, like an R rating, there would be a whole lot more kids going to see that.
Yeah,
that's true. I mean,
that being said, a whole lot of kids went to go see Deadpool too. But like,
see, but that I was actually just about to say that. Like nowadays, you really have to like push that, because like R rating doesn't really mean anything. And I mean, I think more of the Deadpool thing was people, because like it's Ryan Reynolds, and like that Deadpool is definitely not a kid's comic, but like it's portrayed to be like
comical.
He's approachable. Like Deadpool's like, oh, like even though he's a dick and he's like sarcastic and violent and like a perv or whatever, like
it's not dark.
It's not dark. Whereas in the Joker, it's just like they really need to push this. Like, hey, he's going to be torturing Barbara Gordon, who he just blew her spine out, and then now taking naked pictures of her. Like, I mean,
he rapes her.
Just the idea of that whole thing.
He rapes her. He doesn't take naked pictures of her. He rapes her.
Okay, well, fine. Taking naked pictures and making Gordon look at them, going through this like fun house.
Right.
Is, I guess, was what I was touching on. Is like, I mean, that's.
Do they say that though?
It's so dark.
Do they say that he rapes her? I
no,
guess
it's always.
I never picked that up. I just assumed it was.
Did you read the book?
Yeah. I actually have it at the house too. I was supposed to reread it before I watched it, but
I wanted to reread it before I did so bad, but I was like, no, I'm not gonna, because I want to, like, it's been so long since I've read it that I wanted it to be at least a little fresh.
Same, yeah. Come into more facts.
Well, leaving there, that's how I felt. I was like, holy shit, it's been a while, because I forgot how like dark the stories was itself, you know.
Yeah,
so.
Dark movie.
Well, no, I mean, like, there's a lot of stuff in it that's inferred. You know. Like, first of all, the ending has always been inferred that Batman kills the Joker. I don't think I remember Batman laughing in the book. The way that
I thought he laughed.
Does he laugh?
I thought
he laughs.
Again, I've read it probably.
That's like the biggest. That's like was one of the big things, is that finally like
they made Batman laugh.
They connected on that they met that point. You know what I'm saying?
Which could very well be, but I mean, after I had to actually look it up. Like I was telling Dylan earlier, like I had to actually look it up. because I didn't.
Are you talking about the murder of Joker?
No, the end. Yeah, the end.
Batman
The end
kills
is
Joker.
so
Yeah.
vague.
Yeah, I kind of like that though.
Yeah, I
it's,
do too.
it's just like a fade out. This was like a little bit more.
Hearing it,
Well,
Batman kept going, and Joker just stopped.
Yeah, he stopped,
That was a
and
little
the
more
screen
of a,
kind of like faded to red, and there was
It kept going.
there was an inference. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm glad you noticed that though,
I
because
thought it was
Joker
cool.
did stop
Joker
laughing.
Stopped, and
Yeah.
Batman kept laughing. I'm like,
Yes.
oh shit. Like,
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
that was, I did hear you guys talking about that earlier when we were
Yeah.
eating dinner about how you looked that up, and I'm like, I didn't. Again, same with this whole like you were talking about him raping Barbara. Like these are little subtle things that like, yeah, I guess I could see it that way, but it was never directly.
Does that make it even freakier and darker though? I think that
No, I
kind
don't
of
think-
adds to
I
it,
don't
you
think
know.
Either way, it does. Sorry. Yeah.
Who
You
the
guys
fuck is
continue.
that?
Don't worry about it. I just got the
Oh,
my
Just,
bodyguard.
just,
Yeah, I'll be right
just,
back.
just fans.
On location.
of course, got people.
But
What'd you think, Johnny?
I didn't read the book.
Oh,
So,
well,
like,
what did you think?
this was
That's a
like-
unique perspective for you, then
like,
coming in
this
not
was
knowing
like-
anything about it.
First shot, like
What'd you think?
You know, I thought it was cool. I mean, I didn't catch like I noticed that the Joker stopped laughing, but I don't know if I really thought about him killing him. About really at the end, I was kind of like, okay. But like I said,
Well, again, it's never really said. It's
Right,
always
it's very
just that's
vague,
the
for
common.
Did you think anything? Were you thinking like maybe like a meeting of the minds finally? Like, oh my god, like Batman, because like even Batman kind of like that's a big step. Him like putting out his hand and being like, hey man, let's just like try to figure each other out.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? What do
nah.
you think about that?
yeah, no, like that.
That's a huge thing for Batman too.
It
you
is
know, like-
for real.
It is.
I mean,
Well,
I don't
and
know,
like the animation too with Alan Moore's writing was very strange.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know which one I like more because, like, I was so excited to see this get brought to life with like Mark Hamill and like
I
was
didn't see
just-
that. I was upset about that. That's one of the things I was like, because I have Kevin Conroy, Mark Hamill thing has always been like a sacred kind of thing.
Yeah.
Whereas this Alan Moore one, it's like
sign some autographs.
Yeah, sorry, so many fans over here. Man. Oh, it's crazy.
this Alan Moore thing is almost to me like a separate entity. You know what I mean? Where like bringing Conroy and Hamill into it, like first of all, like the way Alan Moore writes is very, like English. You know what I mean? Like not English language, but like, British, you know what I mean? And it's almost verbose, you know what I mean? There's almost like too much there. And when you're reading it, it doesn't translate because you're so excited about the story, you're reading it quickly or whatever, but to hear it actually said out loud, it didn't translate well into cinema. Like word for word, they had it verbatim pretty much. And to me, I was like, there was something lost in that, number one. Number two, Hamill and Conroy are, like I was saying, they're always, like I have very fond memories of Batman the Animated Series and of the games and everything else.
Of course.
When they made the decision to bring Conroy and Hamill in on the games, I was like, that's brilliant because Kevin Conroy is Batman to me, you know what I mean, and Mark Hamill is the Joker.
And
you
even
know what
Mark
I mean?
Hamill touched on it, but like how he had to go to a different Joker. He's like, dude, this
Right.
Arkham game
Well, but-
Joker is way.
Well, but he wasn't way, way, way darker than the one in the animated series, and to that point, I think that they're remembering the animated series Joker as being much less violent than he actually was. As the animated series Joker was extremely violent. There's scenes in that'll curl your fucking hair that they do.
I think it was
without
just a
even
little
thinking about it.
I think it was just a little bit more sugar coated, and with that,
A little bit, but there's moments, and that's the thing. It's like George didn't even almost notice that this needed an R rating because violence is so cliche now. But it's a violent thing.
I'm just desensitized.
That's
I guess.
but
Like, it
everyone
really
is.
not being
Everyone
selfish.
It's not
is.
just you,
Kids are-
dude.
Kids
Yeah.
are watching this shit.
But
Everybody's like that,
I guess
for sure.
I've seen movies where it's like, if they say the F word once or twice, it has to be
Yeah,
R-rated.
well,
This-
it
this-
used to be that
This
way.
didn't have it like any language. This didn't have.
Well, it did. Somebody, I mean, but that
he
wasn't the
said
big.
like what shit or
Yeah,
bitch,
but that
I
wasn't the
think.
big point.
That was it.
But the fact that it was Hamill and
violence,
Conroy almost like
Yeah.
kind of ruined it for me because I didn't like when I think about Killing Joke, I don't think about it in the same arena as Batman. I think of it more like Alan Moore. Like Alan Moore is gonna twist now and be Alan Moore about it, and he's gonna take his take on Batman. But I don't want my,
See, I don't mind that because I guess like
What'd
I
you think
grew
about
up
that? You
way
like that?
later than you. What's up?
way later than you. I grew up way later than you.
Well, I'm just saying,
Because you're old as fuck.
I'd never
sir.
said those words. It was just implied. If you're in between, no. I just think that like reading these comics, sometimes in my mind I associate a certain voice with it.
Sure.
And I think that when I read a lot of these comic books with Joker, Mark Hamill's voice is what I'm reading. Like, as
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of like, see a picture of Morgan Freeman, you're gonna read that sentence as that, and I think that's Joker to me is. So hearing it like animated, that was cool. I like that because that's how I would be
Well,
reading
hold
it
on.
in
Did
my
you
head.
see like Crisis on Two Earths?
I don't know. Probably not. Was that on Netflix?
I don't know if it was on Netflix. It's definitely one of the DC movies,
I think I'm
animated
thinking
movies.
Of, the Flashpoint
Phenomenal.
or something.
No, it's not
It's
Flashpoint.
not
It's
that, yeah.
Crisis on Two Earths. It's similar premise or whatever, alternate timelines and stuff like that. And I forget who plays Batman, but something like James Woods plays the Owl or something like that, and he's phenomenal. You know what I mean? And like there's been other Jokers that have and other
art style?
Batmans that have what?
Was it like a papery art style, with like Green Lantern and Martian Manhunter came down? He was like disguised.
I didn't see it.
No.
Okay,
It's
my
good though.
connection's
You
all
should see it.
fucked up.
It's real good.
All right, cool.
But there's been other. My point is that there's been other Batman voices that have been good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
you know, Conroy and Hamill are kind of like the creme de la creme. They're like the flagship. And I feel like this was darker. Like this needed a different voice cast. It wasn't bad with them, but it was still like.
I agree with Dylan though. That the Arkham Asylum games are so dark though. I
They
think
are
they're
pretty dark.
just as. I mean, I don't know. They
No,
touch on some
I don't
stuff in
care. I mean, I respect your opinion greatly, Nick. But like, I mean, as soon as Mark Hamill said that, I was like, dude, I agree with you 100%. Like that jump
Yeah.
was huge because like playing those games, like I take those stories just as serious as some of like these comic book stories and
Sure.
like the, you know,
They're
Killing
phenomenal.
Joke, whatever. And it's just like it's unreal. The transformation, and I love that he said this because like that whole thing how he's joking around, it's like just don't follow what Nicholson did. But like he also then immediately says the Joker can be many things, can be many variations of the Joker, and he's like and he's unpredictable, and like you figure it out as you go along.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like that's why I thought that was kind of cool. Also, to segue from that, did you guys notice in the Batcave when Batman is staring at the computer and he's got a bunch of different pictures
Robin?
of Joker?
Oh.
And did you see the Dark Knight version of the Joker where he's sitting in the cell and he's sitting like Heath Ledger? Like remember when he's sitting in the cell and he's just sitting there waiting for them to give the speech
Yeah.
or whatever, and
He
before he
starts
starts
clapping.
he
Yeah,
starts
yeah.
clapping.
Clap.
Which was an improv, by the way.
Huh.
He,
Yeah, I know. I actually just learned that. Like,
They showed like a bunch of Joker pictures,
different,
yeah.
and
but they were
because
all
he was
pretty
talking about
different.
like I don't even know like what this Joker's even all about or whatever, and
Oh, for high playing.
hi.
Well, there was also a dead Robin. Did you see that?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Okay, I
yeah.
didn't know
So
if that was-
and then he's Harley sitting with him
Yep.
and stuff. So like I kind of like that they were like, I don't know. This whole movie is like it's a classic, but they're also like went out of their way to like pay homage
Yeah,
to
yeah,
like
yeah.
so many different like versions and stories and
Swear
stuff.
to me.
It was cool, man. Like I
Who's
thought
that?
like I thought it was
that.
kind of I thought that was kind of fun. I thought that they did like they stayed true to the story. And honestly, dude, I think that for me, because I guess I'll just go around. I thought that the Batgirl story did make me care a little bit more. Because I feel like they're going through the struggle together, and then she's growing, and then he's bossing her around and being like they're growing, and then all of a sudden they become intimate, and then like now he cares even that much more.
Fair enough, but
And
let me
I was
ask you
like-
this. Do you feel like they're separate stories?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
When
but,
you said that
but
in
they,
the beginning,
but
there
they
was two different
definitely.
things. I agree with what you're saying.
Definitely, yeah. But I mean, I can see, like, from my perspective too, like, not reading anything about it before, like, some random person coming in, which obviously I pay attention to a lot of comic book things here and there, but, like, it makes Batman, like, that whole point of him possibly killing him at the end,
That
I can really see why.
Yes.
That's true.
Thank you.
You know,
Thank
like,
you,
It
yeah.
didn't just add
Yo,
depth to
that's
her
a good
as
point.
to
you
Batman.
just raped my girl.
Excellent point.
You know?
Because he's got that extra care.
Yeah.
Whereas not that Batman wouldn't do something crazy anyways, but now he's vulnerable.
Yeah. I mean, but it
Even
also
more
talked
vulnerable.
about when she was talking to him, like, going to that dark place, you know, going to the edge. And
Eventually-
she even said, like, eventually you can't fight it. Like, it's gonna happen.
I feel like it was training wheels.
Yeah.
It was like training wheels for the
very
for the
casual
Killing Joke
person.
story because
absolutely.
like the things that went through with Barbara Gordon, like you were saying, like all of a sudden you care a lot, whereas normally you might not care a lot. And like her commentary on the abyss, and you know, even Mark Hamill's like interview in the beginning or whatever, where he's giving a lot of background and talking about, you know, how insanity is always interesting and the different ways to play the Joker and stuff like that. Like, there was a lot of background before you got to the Killing Joke, so that when it finally got there, you kind of understood what was going on. And that's the thing about the book itself, is that like it's always kind of been held in such high regard, because like as a standalone, like when you read it as a standalone, it still has that weight to it. You just kind of it makes you question. It makes you have these questions too. So this happened to Commissioner Gordon. This happened to Barbara. And throughout the book, they're kind of, in the beginning, like when he goes to see him in the cell and he has that really genuine moment, that human moment, which again doesn't really translate well to film, Alan Moore's writing, but and he's like, listen, this has got to stop.
Yep.
Like when it, you know what I mean?
I want to know. I'm gonna look back and have a good conscience, knowing that I tried. Basically, like I gave you that chance to turn around.
Right. So
and he still did too. Late, like at the end of the movie.
But that's what I'm saying, is that like they kind of like give you the inkling that like this is it for the Joker.
But like,
you know what I mean? He's gonna give him a chance. He's gonna give him the last go.
I'm gonna throw this out there. So is Batman getting worn out, or is he finally giving into the abyss? Because like, is him laughing at the end him entering the abyss, finally breaking the Joker? Maybe that's
of course, because becoming the Joker.
I feel
basically.
like that's not like, maybe that wasn't Batman just being like, ha ha ha. Like, I understand that was like, ha ha ha, you killed me.
I'm done.
I am done, Joker.
Well, that's the thing. They killed each other.
Good night.
But what's the whole thing with Jim Gordon and throwing the book at him, and then it has to be done by the books? And Batman's just kind of like,
it's not working.
Yeah, well, and that's stopping. That's the underlying theme of the whole thing is,
like, doing it by the book, you're just going to lock him up again. He's just going to get out again, and it's going to keep happening.
Which is what he said in the beginning when he went to see him. Look, we can't keep doing this.
And it was a sacrifice Batman made. Yeah. Like, it was like, Gordon's going to keep trying. Batman knows this. But now Gordon and people he loves is getting hurt. And Batman's finally just like, look, I lost, but at least this guy isn't gonna be hurting. I feel like it was just a sacrifice he made.
Because Joker and Batman have always, like, the Joker's always touched on the fact, like, hey, we're the same person. But, like, you kind of went the good way and I went this way.
Sure,
and he's always played on that fact, like, hey, you're a freak, like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's always been like, you were the same person.
Well, then, what about Gordon? Joker couldn't get Gordon to break and to become like him.
Right.
Just like Batman couldn't get Barbara to not cross that line, like in the beginning when she was going all crazy. So it's like you got that similarity.
What about this? Maybe Joker's plan all along was not to break Gordon and Batgirl. It was to break Batman.
Well, I feel like it's definitely like that's
of course it was.
That's his life.
Because like he loves Batman, dude. Joker is in love with Batman, and
but what does he want? The thing that he wants
Joker
most
won.
of all.
They both won because Batman was like, all right, well, I'm gonna kill you, and then Joker.
Well, what's the thing that the Joker wants most of all?
To be able to do this forever with Batman. Nice. Thank you. Yes, I'm over here. Yep. That's a fan of mine. You're not the only one with fans, George.
Cool.
He wants Batman to love him.
Because he's obsessed with him. So yeah.
Right, but he wants Batman to understand. He wants Batman to come down to his level and to admit that he gets it at some level, and Batman.
I think that's what they did at the
won't
end.
do it.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, you were talking about the Dark Knight, and there was a lot of the Dark Knight that was taken from this. You know what I mean? You can see like the scene on the boat at the end of Dark Knight or whatever, where he's trying to, and I mean,
I don't want to kill you.
Yeah, I mean, like that gets a little. What's the word? I'm having a brain fart for the word, but like they lead it. You know what I mean? Like oh no. What do you mean they're not gonna do it? Like, all right, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know who wrote that, but. But you know what I mean? Like at the end of that, where he's, again, he's trying to bring people down to his level. He wants people, or to come up to his level, if you will. You know what I mean? He wants people to acknowledge that what he's going through is like a real thing. But most of all, Batman. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He just wants Batman's approval. He just wants Batman to say yes, yes, yes. So in a way, like him laughing like that, like he was giving something to the Joker. Because even at the times before when he never... even if he thought something was funny, and they've touched on it in comics here and there, like when Joker's done something stupid or whatever, and Batman's kind of laughed behind closed doors, you know what I mean? But he won't show it to Joker. He won't give it to him.
Yeah, he let him even tell the joke. He let him tell the joke, and he's just like, all right, fine.
Because they were having
I'll play your game.
They were having a serious conversation there. I like that. They
Yeah.
both, for like a moment in time, had like that. Well, they always have respect for each other, but they had like that. look, you could see Joker almost like wanting to.
Joker was like,
He's
dude,
just
I want to just hug you and be like,
"We're
thanks,
far too
homie.
late." Yeah,
Because
like,
he starts
"It's
laughing.
too
He's
late,"
just
and
like,
Batman's
"Oh."
like, I don't know. That was a very cool interaction.
It was, dude.
I like that in the cinema. Like sometimes I don't know. Maybe it's me as a reader, me being dumb and like trying to pronounce words bigger than like 2 syllables. But I like sometimes having it read and narrated to me. I'm picking up on things that maybe I'm skimming past.
Absolutely. No,
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 dude,
just-
you're absolutely right, bro.
I like
I
stuff
absolutely
like that. It's
agree
cool.
with
Yeah,
you.
read it to
I
me,
do
'cause
too. I
Even
do too.
comic books, I'll reread multiple times. Like the ones I'm.
Of
You know,
course.
it's like,
Of course.
please, Dylan, check this one out. It's like
No,
you'll
yeah,
be like,
yeah,
oh yeah,
yeah.
dude, I love that part. When I'm like, oh shit, I forgot about that. Or see
absolutely.
from somebody else's point of
Well,
view. That's why I
comics
like
are
doing these with you
comics
guys.
are the closest thing that you can get to a movie without going to a movie.
Yep.
I mean, they're basically storyboards. So I mean, it's just like Shakespeare. Like you're not supposed to read Shakespeare. You're supposed to watch Shakespeare. You know what I mean? In comics, it could be argued that the true form of a comic is film or animation. You know what I mean? Like it's. You know what I mean?
That's
So I
one thing
don't think it
DC's
makes you less than or.
Yeah, they've been knocking it out of the park, man. Like I know this wasn't part of that same series they've been having like ongoing, but like, dude, they've been killing these last 2 years.
What with
Like,
animation and
just
shit?
their movies, like they've been. I love it. Not only like the art style, these.
I really
other
wish you
ones,
had been
but-
there for the Ultimate Edition podcast that we did.
I know.
There's some
I'm sorry, guys.
Great.
Yeah.
I mean, it
I
was
won't
just
miss any more.
there was just it was just so well done, and it
Yeah.
was such a rewarding experience compared to the actual theatrical release. You know, I'm
Dude,
sure you saw it.
Well,
right?
I mean,
Well,
I watched that with you guys. I mean, that movie.
Let him have the floor with that for a little.
I was no, I don't even want to take too much time out because this is for a killing joke. But like, I mean, I was the hardest on that movie probably out of this group of 4 of us.
Now, what did you think after
This
seeing the re-release?
so much better. I'm like mad that they let the other one go to theaters.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not in this business, and I know there's way more to producing a movie and editing a movie. I get that. I know I'm stupid and I couldn't do it. But watching that one, I can't be like, yeah, that one's the one I want to go. Like, holy fucking shit! Like, so much better.
Literally the exact same shit that we said.
I still
like, verbatim.
don't, I'm still not one of my favorites, but it's up there. It's great. I still don't like the style of Lex they chose, but this version gave him so much more credit for stuff. Like, tied him in so much more rather than like this.
Right.
Could they have left him out?
You had to do it. You had to do so much work for the one in theatrical. Now you
had
get
to
this.
convince yourself. that
Right.
he was behind
You
the
know,
scenes.
I'll admit that. Like, dude, I was a fan of like the first version I saw, but then and then I see the Ultimate cut, and I was just like angry, and I even told you that once we left. You know, I was just
But
like,
the
oh my
DC
God.
has been killing it though.
No, they have been. And the Killing Joke, man, this did not let me
What
down.
did everyone
I was
think
happy about it.
number-wise, since we always do the number rating? I mean, I feel like this is just like, I can't necessarily say I like one, like the comic version or this version better or than the other, like the novel or this. I feel like the Batgirl story didn't like decrease or increase. I feel like it was just what it was.
It was hand holding for the noobs.
But I also think it was
Or to
good.
give you reference before you
Yeah,
go see a story
I think
that you
it was-
haven't
I think it
seen
was
in a
cool.
really
Yeah,
long
no,
time.
absolutely.
Both,
so many
both of
people,
those things at once.
they complain if you like change a story or mess with the character. Like there's a lot of that, and I think they did it very well without messing with the original story too much. They just basically added a little beforehand instead of like in the
You
middle
didn't
of
even
it
have to
adding-
watch that.
What do you mean? At the beginning part?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if
No,
you choose, you
But
can
it,
just go
it,
right
it
through
gave you a
that.
little bit more.
You're
Yeah.
right. No, I agree.
You're right,
Like
though.
you could kind of skim through that, but that's cool because that way they get to tell the story, like almost like the exact way it was told, but add some. They can still add without fucking with, and I think that's cool. A lot of movies, animated or live action nowadays, don't do that. They mess with so much or try to squeeze so much in or stretch out a story, and I think that this way did it very well. So you were talking about numbers. I mean, going into this just loving that graphic novel, I'll give this an 8.5 easy. I mean, I know Nick loves my half number, so like, yeah, 8.5, man. That was a solid movie.
Yeah.
I liked it
definitely.
a lot. So
I like the Barbara Gordon story, but I didn't like it as being attached to the Killing Joke. I understand why they did it. That it makes sense that, you know, Killing Joke was too short. They had to add more content, so they tried to, you know, create a new story. But like, I think that story would have been great as a standalone, or if it had diverged somewhere else instead of the Killing Joke.
It was like a 2 or 3 part TV series.
Well, not even
You know,
that. I
like
mean,
it was short enough to be like a half-hour TV show. You know what I mean?
I would have liked to see them develop that relationship more. I think it was really interesting that they brought sex into it. Well, interesting in both ways. I mean, I've never liked the Killing Joke because of the rape thing. And because of when I think about the Joker, I always think about him as this kind of inhuman.
Yeah, he doesn't have
character.
needs. He doesn't have needs. I kind of think of him that way too.
Right, he's desexualized, you know what I mean? And to think of him having a sexuality or using his sexuality or anything like that.
They touched on it a lot
just gonna
too.
say,
They
too,
with the
the
prostitutes
alleyway.
and stuff. I was just
Yeah.
like, they're making it. They definitely
first stop.
they definitely made him have more, because like
They
I agree.
humanized him.
I agree with you, Nick. Like that is one thing that I love about the Joker is that he's like an entity. He's a perfect entity.
Yeah, he's
for
like
what
a
he
like a
is.
tornado.
Yeah.
Tornadoes don't rape people; they just destroy everything.
Because that would imply that he cares about
Right,
sexual
but again, I
needs.
mean, like this is
and I-
Alan Moore giving him a backstory and making him very human and dragging a character that's basically like a human hurricane into the realm of humanity, which, you know, we've talked about in the other
Which
podcasts
is fine because he
so
does have the
much.
relationship with Harley and stuff in these versions of the Joker,
Yeah.
which
Right,
is fine.
right.
But that's also like a very like twisted, not necessarily love, but it's
Yeah.
No,
something.
that's
you know?
as far away from love as you can get.
But what's your number, Nick?
Well, again, like all for the whole thing. For just the Killing Joke itself, they did it verbatim. I wouldn't have done it with that animation style. There are a lot of decisions that I would have done, and I'll give it a strong 7 for this presentation of it. It was a strong 7, like out of 10 though. You know what I mean? Like on the high end.
You said just the Killing Joke part, though. What did you mean by that? Not the beginning of the movie?
No. I mean for the whole presentation.
Okay, from
Everything
beginning
that they
to- okay.
did with the new Barbara Gordon
Okay,
story.
I didn't know if you
and-
were going to split that into 2 parts.
No, I
Okay,
mean, as
okay.
much as I don't like putting them in the same voice, this is what they presented. And I'm not going to be the fucking naysayer who sits there and is like, you know, like, all right, they made this decision with it. It wasn't like an abomination.
Yeah.
It wasn't like you
the way you
saw
worded
it
that, I
and you're
didn't know
just
if you were
like,
gonna, like,
yeah, it
that's
wasn't like
Okay,
Barbara
so
Gordon in a
Hey,
tutu.
you laugh, but there's a lot of fans out there who are there's a lot of closed-minded people out there who
Well,
would take offense to
You
a
got to give them
story.
a little artistic license, and I mean,
No,
you know,
no, there's people out there who don't. That's the point I'm making.
That's not fair, dude. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Listen, if we're gonna trust these people to use this content and bring our heroes to life, like, we gotta give them a little.
You'd be surprised. But
You know what I mean?
Like I said,
Go ahead, what do you think?
I don't mind the Batgirl story. I kind of think it gave it a little bit more. Especially for a character that I'm like, I don't want to say like I don't care, but like you know, it's I mean, even like while I just finished I fell behind on DC Rebirth because I was playing Pokemon Go, but I just got done reading the first one for Birds of Prey, and she's like part of that or whatever. And like for a character that like I don't really like pay attention to often, like I feel like watching this, I was just like, yo, like I get it a little bit more now. Like I'm like, okay, I feel when she's getting hurt, or I feel like that anger when she had that disagreement with Batman. I'm like, yo, I get that argument.
They
you know
wrote
what I'm saying?
that very well.
Yeah, I was like, I feel that it's making that relationship that much stronger and that much more personal. So I think that kind of added a little cherry on top to it. I mean, I'll copy you, Quarter, and I'll go with like an 8.5. Cool. I think the story itself,
Deserves it.
the thing, even like the Killing Joke being an excellent story as it is not my favorite Joker story, or just in the Batman universe story. Like I enjoyed it, but it's
very Alan Moore.
I like a blend of them, but like I mean, like Death of the Family was like more like horror, but like he was very entity feel, that hurricane feel, where he does not. It's like the same idea of Killing Joke, but way more like ruthless and way more like thoughtless. You know what I'm saying? So like I kind of like that, but I also like, you know, like obviously like Heath Ledger and Nicholson, and we'll see what Jared Leto can do and stuff. But like I like a blend of it. But I enjoyed the story. 8.5. I mean, I compared to both the movie itself and the comic. You know, so.
What do you think, Johnny?
Johnny, what's up?
I mean, I kind of liked I know you said you didn't really like the filming style. I know Cord touched on it, that he kind of liked it. Like in the beginning, the whole Batgirl thing, when she was running, it was very like kind of choppy with how the like very 92 Batman.
Flipping a book
Yeah,
really
it was
fast.
cool. I enjoyed that. I mean, just because it brought me back to being a kid and watching Batman on TV.
Yeah.
But I mean, I
Only she's
appreciated
getting
that.
raped.
Well,
What kind of cartoons are you watching, John?
don't worry.
My
about it.
childhood.
That's style. That's style, though. Yes.
Good.
What, you guys never saw that one?
Yeah.
Right.
But like I thought that like it was cool just because, like I said in the X-Men thing, like it just like the thing I liked about that movie was just like seeing my superheroes brought to life, and that just kind of brought me back to being a kid and enjoying that kind of animation and stuff, which I appreciated that. I mean, Mark Hamill is nuts and awesome as the Joker. You can't really beat that. You know what I mean? Like, it's
so effortless.
It works well. Like, his voice is cool. I mean, he's twisted and it sounds cool.
It does.
You know,
It's
like a good job. I mean, I'm gonna give it an 8. I enjoyed it a lot. Like I said, not knowing anything about it coming in besides like
I didn't
the
even
overall premise.
I like that you were like coming into this kind of blind.
that's cool.
That's really cool. That
I should borrow it. It's good.
I have it.
No,
in the house
I
now.
totally want to read it.
It's my bed.
Especially even more now.
It's weird that Hamill said in the beginning, you know, that he brings a different Joker to the table each time, because I don't know if I would have noticed as strongly, but there was bass in his voice. He was much less light. The voice acting itself was very.
He's getting older.
The first one was cute.
Well, no, but
the first one was.
Maybe
you,
I mean maybe
you can
that's
tell
part of
his
it, but-
mood though. I feel like this dude is going into this with different types of emotions. I feel like when he first started this off, the Joker was like a criminal and he's violent and he's like a horrible person or thing. But like it was way more cute. And then
Well,
you
that's what he
start
said, you know?
and then you start diving into like the Arkham games and it's way it's like the antithesis of what it is. Like, dude, it's very dark. It's very rough. It's edge. He's killing people. He's torturing people.
Yeah.
He's like putting people up with like the smile like gas and like
I'm waiting for that animated movie.
Oh my
Why don't they make
God.
those games do a quick little? I mean, they did a short series on it, didn't they? Or like some comics with it? Weren't you?
What, with Arkham?
Yeah, I thought they did the Arkham
know.
game something.
what did they do? I know they did an They did doing the Injustice
you know what? I think that's what I'm thinking of.
story.
Yeah.
What, in comics?
Yeah, they have a very
See, that's a story I would like to see done.
It's good. It's good.
Like the whole story done in long form.
It's way longer than what you got in the game. Like
I would
way longer.
love to see Injustice.
have those?
Injustice is
I
one of my favorite stories.
had them digitally on my phone, but I did a lot of audiobooks.
But I mean,
on YouTube.
You know, that being said, Injustice it runs a really strong parallel to Killing Joke in terms of pushing people and how far will they go. And again, it's the Joker is the antagonist, and this time instead of Barbara Gordon, it's
He's the monkey.
Fucking
Lois
with the
Lane.
girls of
Well,
Justice
what?
League.
How do you
I mean,
get to a Superman?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You go
Like,
through
yeah.
the
How do you get to
middle.
a
Makes
Batman?
sense,
Yeah.
yeah.
Actually, speaking of that, we had a shit ton of trailers released, guys, and I kind of wanted to touch on this a little quick.
we're gonna hit the trailers.
I was gonna say, you want to do like its own thing? We could do that. You
Um,
want to touch on? I'm down to talk.
I pretty much was just gonna ask you guys like what like maybe like your top like 3 or 4 like trailers that just got released. I mean, there's a few or like just
I'm
reveals
down.
in general.
Fine.
Well, I saw the whole Justice League movie in the trailer, so you mean we could just talk about the whole movie right now?
Is that how you felt with it?
Yeah, dude. What the fuck,
Yeah, but
dude?
what if they learned from their mistake before?
They didn't
they
learn
did-
from
they
their
did,
mistake, dude.
because-
It's the whole Aquaman scene and the whole Flash scene.
So
Like, are you
where's the
fucking
Where's
serious?
the Superman scene then?
Oh well, you know, at
Exactly.
least they left out the fact that
but
Superman
that's
comes
just,
back.
That's
you
just
know
a
what I
little
mean?
thing. You know they're going to keep the third act this time. They learned from their mistakes a little bit. Come on.
No, dude, they
I
didn't.
don't know. The movie
There's
doesn't come out for
everything-
another year, so we'll see.
Is it a year away?
I think so.
Oh
It's
my
next year at some
God.
point.
Oh shit! It's gonna be
Yeah,
like 5 more.
I was
trailers
surprised they
there.
even released it. I was just telling George that.
Yeah.
I was not even expecting a Justice League. I knew Wonder Woman was gonna be dry. I had no idea when.
I didn't see. I gotta go watch Wonder Woman.
That was my favorite.
Yeah, well, after you
that
because
was
you said
that
it.
was my favorite trailer that got released.
Yeah.
Easily.
Doctor Strange
And then
for
Doctor
me.
Strange was
I'm
second.
sorry, a little bit of Marvel fanboy coming out.
No,
but
no,
actually, I
just
put
don't
Justice
apologize.
League above the Wonder Woman a little bit. I thought it was cool. I'm excited for it. It looks good. I do. You and me were talking earlier.
Yeah.
The Batman himself. You said he was getting a little.
The
too,
humor. Okay,
yeah.
so I feel like that finally, like, I'm gonna be a little negative right now. So all you fanboys, just shut the fuck up, listen to me, and stop being such freaking pansies. But I feel like the masses are finally winning, and WB went up to Zack Snyder and is like, you need to make this movie funnier because everyone's bitching about it. So now I've watched this trailer and I get a little worried. Ezra Miller. You need to have the Flash lighthearted and friendly. But, like, you know what? I don't want Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman. I don't want all these people telling jokes throughout the whole thing. And right now, I feel like I got way too big of a taste of it. And then I go on YouTube and I see all these other critics who are bashing Batman v Superman for being too dark and brooding. And then all of a sudden, they watch this. And then I see some of them saying, well, I hope they really don't overdo on the humor because they've set up this big, epic world with Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. I'm just like, dude, you guys can't make up your mind. You all suck. And that's why Comic Book Courtroom is a thing, because now we have to organize all your bullshit. Okay, I got it out of my system. Wonder Woman, easily my favorite trailer that
I'm
got
gonna go
released.
out on a limb and say that you want to do that whole thing about trailers because because you were mad about how funny Batman was being and you wanted to yell at somebody about it.
I
Dylan
absolutely
was
wanted
yelling
to
at
yell.
me
Yeah.
earlier about
I
that.
wanted to yell.
No,
But actually, another big thing is that I was actually like blown away by the Doctor Strange effects and just the trailer in general. I'm
serious.
hoping that I don't get let down, but I'm really, really impressed by that trailer. That was easily my second one. Like if Wonder Woman didn't get released, I would have put Doctor Strange way above Justice League,
Really?
way above freaking the Daredevil review, Iron Fist, all of them.
Oh, speaking of,
All
me
of
and
them.
Johnny were talking
Luke
about this heading
Cage,
into the
though.
movies. Yo, Luke Cage is
Luke
awesome.
Cage,
It's
though.
gonna be- Yo, real
Luke
quick,
Cage
you see
looks
Legion?
great. Legion.
I posted that just the other today. Like,
What's
before we got
Legion?
here. It's a new Marvel series coming to FX, and it looks interesting because I know nothing about it. So there's a lot of comics that I gotta go by now.
Is it
He's
Legion from New Mutants?
He is a mutant. So see, look at this dude right here. I already know one about it. What is
Well,
it? Explain to me.
because I'm old and I know the New Mutants.
Hey, 50's not old, Nick.
Oh, dude, I'm not 50, dude. Legion's
come on.
Legion's not a New Mutant. He was I'm not even thinking of Legion. I'm thinking of
Well, he's a mutant, so you had that right.
I'm thinking of Warlock. Who was Legion?
Well, I posted the trailer. It's on the page.
Yeah.
Go like it. All the trailers actually for Comic-Con, not all of them.
We
He's
blew up
he
the
is
page.
he is in New Mutants though.
Well, check it out. It looks interesting. It's something I don't know anything about, so I'm excited to go read some stuff on it and find out more. So that was
If you're
kinda cool.
interested in stuff like that, like I would recommend seeing Powers. I don't know if you guys have seen Powers.
It was on Sony.
Yeah, did you see
PlayStation
it?
thing. I watched most season 1. I wasn't really getting into
You
it too
sound
much.
really underwhelmed
It
about
was just a little, I don't know.
Let's talk
I like-
about Powers. I
Yeah.
want to know your trailers. I want to
Yeah,
know
give
your
your trailer.
trailers, please. I would love to know your trailers, Nick.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
No, that's fine. I'll check out Powers, but I don't.
go off on a tangent.
I just feel like
You'll
there's.
fucking love it.
I feel like there's huge. Like you just had a bunch of huge reveals.
Well, hang
Well,
on. Nobody
I
here
don't
watched
give a
Suicide
shit
Squad?
about what?
Nobody else here watched the Suicide Squad trailer?
No,
You don't want
I
to?
didn't-
already
I
seen
didn't-
too many of
I
them.
have.
It's next week,
They were
bro.
doing so good with them, and now they've released a shit ton, so I had to
It
stop.
doesn't show much more, but that's
No,
fine. That's
I'm
fine.
good
You
with
guys
that.
want to go into
It's
the
next week,
surprise?
man.
I hear you. I know.
Yes.
I don't care about Wonder Woman at all.
You will.
As a character
don't-
or the movie?
Either.
Okay.
Either. I don't.
You
I
will-
don't.
you will-
I like the one from the '60s or the '70s or whatever it was, where she has her go-go boots and her lasso of
Invisible-
truth.
I'll be waiting for the text later.
Yeah, that's so true, though. Come on.
I love the lasso of truth. I
She
think
brought
that's
that into it. That's awesome. I was so shocked to see that.
dude, but that's one of the best comic book like things to have. Like the lasso of truth is just such a cool thing, and it's I don't know if they're using that. You know, who knows?
Did you say
Like
you saw
said.
the Wonder Woman trailer or no?
No, I did not see it.
Okay.
We'll
Oh,
see
I'm
what
sorry,
happens.
He'll be.
I don't care about Doctor
Spoiler on
Strange
trailers.
You
at
should.
all.
You should care
I
about
don't
both of
listen.
those
Listen,
movies.
I don't care about Doctor Strange at all. After seeing the trailer for Doctor
Oh,
Strange,
okay. Yes. Yeah.
dude, I'm geeked out on the movie. It's just
Same.
like Rogue One. When they announced Rogue One, I was like, oh, awesome. So we have to wait another year for episode 7 or episode 8. And I was like, I don't give a shit. And I saw the trailer
Rogue
for
One's
Rogue
gonna be
One
lit.
and literally was at full stock the whole time.
Boom!
Just completely al dente like this. Could hang a wet towel off my cock.
Do a
I'm just-
pull-up. Do a pull-up off of it.
Unbelievable. I was like, oh my God, what the fuck? And it was the same thing with Doctor Strange. When I saw the trailer, I was like, oh.
I keep telling
that's gonna
George.
be
I
great.
keep telling George it's like a blend of like Matrix and like Inception, but like in this
Sure.
magical fantasy Marvel
Yeah,
world.
it's-
So like,
magical
and it's-
element.
and I'm
and-
like,
and
this
I
movie's
like
gonna
Benedict-
be sick,
Dude,
dude.
Benedict Cumberbatch is awesome.
And he's a great actor.
He's
Thank you.
really, really, really.
I was
Did you
telling
see?
Dylan earlier, I was surprised they cast him. He's such a big name.
He is. He's a
Like,
huge.
why
Well,
would
and
you-
he's an incredible actor too. I
he
mean,
is.
like,
I'm
all
taking
you
that
guys see
away.
the BBC Sherlock Holmes?
I've
So
watched them all.
good.
Johnny's always
It's
trying
so
to get me to watch
good.
them.
Fucking tell
Dude,
me,
they're
Johnny.
movie episodes. They're hour-and-a-half-long
Yeah,
episodes.
and
all
they're
of them.
each one of them
So
individually is phenomenal.
So good.
Like
So good.
top tier.
No, I'll have to check it out.
I
yeah.
couldn't believe, dude. I watched it. I was like this.
So you're excited about the casting then?
Oh, dude, you.
So is this
Again,
your
I
top
don't.
trailer?
I don't give a fuck about Doctor Strange. I don't care about Doctor
Okay.
Strange at all.
Fair enough.
They cast Cumberbatch. I saw the trailer. I'm in. I'm all in.
I will
That's
be,
day one.
I will be looking forward to seeing that.
Oh
movie.
yeah, hell
Easily.
yeah.
Cool.
The Justice League trailer, they gave too much away already, and if it's a year away, that's a disgrace that they
He's
did
saying
that.
that, but then we're gonna watch that movie, and all those scenes are gonna be in the first like 20 minutes.
Dude, they already
It
gave
needs to be
away the interaction
eating these
between
words.
Bruce Wayne meets Aquaman for the first
Yeah.
time, which is an incredibly important moment, and to see how those characters play off each other. You have this cool new Aquaman for at once. They've gone to great lengths to not have Aquaman be a pussy.
Jason Momoa looks so awesome.
I don't think Aquaman's ever been a pussy, so you watch your.
I think he's
watch your-
They went to great lengths to make that character cool. And I was so interested in the interaction between the two of those, and there it is. It's in the trailer. And then again with Flash too, because you guys brought up all that great stuff in Batman versus Superman about like Flashpoint, about like him coming back, and like, oh, that was the Flash that was giving him a vision of Injustice World or whatever the fuck, and I didn't even catch that. So I became very interested in that very quick, and I couldn't wait to see, whoa, what's gonna happen? Like what's their character interaction gonna be? Because I love Affleck as Batman. You know what I mean? And it's in the fucking trailer. The whole thing is in the trailer.
That whole thing though, I hate reading stuff. Like, I'm a sucker. I'm flipping through Facebook or whatever, and I'm like, click on this, and then I read. I'm like, damn, why did I read that?
Dude, what, just spoilers or whatever?
Dude, yeah, just like anything. Like, oh yeah, well, they're this scene or whatever. Yeah. That was literally in an article like 3 months ago.
Dude, I had people sending me links,
like the whole
being
thing
like,
is like,
oh,
why is Bruce Wayne sitting in my second favorite chair? And like, as they're playing, I'm watching the trailer. I'm like, they literally quoted this entire scene.
Well, because
in an article like 3 months ago.
It's because it's super hyped. It's like everyone's
absolutely.
like, okay, like Nick, you keep saying like they gave away a lot. Like, you know what, dude? Like some of the interaction, cool. Those scenes are gonna be like way more in detail. You're gonna get like way more emotions. You're gonna get way more connection. I feel like,
of course, dude. I'm just saying, like,
I think
leave some to the imagination.
Cyborg's intro.
What bugged me was during the interaction, you get like this overflow of this lightheartedness and humor. And that's what's going to worry me. You don't want it to be light. Well, no, I don't mind if it is a little.
Marvel's light.
I don't mind
Leave it alone.
I don't
Leave
mind.
it there.
Fuck off.
I don't mind if it's you need, especially with the Flash, Green Lantern if he enters in. Sometimes even Cyborg. You need the lightheartedness. You need some jokes every now and then, and the young personality.
Well, you've already said in previous podcasts that Batman versus Superman is as dark as the universe is going to get. So I mean, there had to have been some expectation on your end of kind of, that
as long
there's going to be some levity.
Epic, as long as you keep it big and epic like Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, because those are huge movies.
First of all, like the Batman Superman movie, I think was anomalous in the fact that it was so dark. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that even when maybe they did that on purpose, but that was really dark movie, really dark.
Well, it's
for a big budget, big screen movie. Listen, when they put these movies out, these aren't like pigeonholed to you and me. They're for everybody.
Well, I look at them differently story-wise and character-wise, but I look at Watchmen and Batman v Superman pretty much the same way.
Right, but they're not. See, Watchmen 2 was like, it was a big studio movie, and it was a summer movie, but they knew that it wasn't going to get. This is Batman and Superman, like. These are the money makers, and for them to go that dark with that story I was like, whoa,
cool.
That was pretty dark.
And I supported Snyder when he wanted to have Superman break Zod's neck, and everyone cried about that.
Don't get it fucked up. I was as excited for you, but I mean, like, if they're going to keep the franchise going, like, there's no way they can keep it that dark and maintain it.
I don't want it to get darker and darker, stay that tone. I do want Superman to smile every now and then, but I also like that they have that connectivity, they have that personal stuff, all those things that we discussed about, like these people living in this day and age. Yeah. I like that. So
do you think that they're overusing Affleck?
Dude, I'm just worried. I know that Justice League movie is going to be insane. It's going to be a great movie. I just have expectations, once again, the same thing that I had for like Iron Man 3, Age of Ultron, Winter Soldier. Out of those ones, one of them met those expectations. I had to re-watch the other ones to kind of appreciate them.
Sure.
But like, that's what happened. It's the same thing like with, okay, well, even take what George said. When he watched it again, Batman v Superman, he's like, okay, I don't hate this movie. It wasn't shit like I thought it was. Yeah. I actually get what it is now. Like, that's what, like, I don't want to have to do that for all these movies. I feel like you've been making superhero movies. Let's how hard is it to kind of stick to like this theme and have a little creative freedom and try new things, but also stick to something like that isn't like super dumb and corny or super dark and dull. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can, dude, Man of Steel, I thought, like, did have some bright moments.
Fucking Cormac McCarthy written Superman movies and Batman movies till the end of time, and just, like,
well, dude, my most watched movies, like, in my
if it was
DVD are, well, no, I'm just saying the ones that I watch the most include Man of Steel. With like Mad Max and Matrix Reloaded and stuff.
Sure.
Like,
I like dark movies.
These are movies that Dark Knight.
I am old.
Even Dark Knight Rises. But like, dude, I mean, you know, like I can rewatch these movies.
Yeah.
some of these, I'm just like, I watched it, cool. Like, I'm okay with it now. Dude, Batman v Superman, dude, I've watched that movie like 8 times, dude. Like, I mean, and it's like, yes, it's long, and I get like some people like the part. You know what? We've already talked about that enough. I want to know I just deviated from the trailers.
George. Said it. Top one I thought was Doctor Strange with Justice League as a close second.
Okay, so your top 2, Doctor Strange and Justice League. What about you, Nick? Georgie. Okay, Johnny, what do you think?
I mean, I'm pumped for all of them. I mean, I'm with Nick on the Doctor Strange thing. One, I don't know anything about Doctor Strange. I also don't really care to, but it looks cool. Also, like, it's very Inception.
It looks excellent,
and that is one of my favorite movies.
Looks like it's totally gonna fuck your head.
I was taken by surprise.
I'm kind of cool to see where it is. Yeah. You know, see what happens with it. It's definitely like the first trailer. I was still like about, because I was like, I still have no idea what's going on, and then I saw this and I was just like, wait, what is going on? And now I want to see it to see what's going on.
Not only this movie though, like just imagine that element that it's going to add to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's going to be interesting.
I was literally just about to say that. Like, the one thing that I do know about Doctor Strange is he's really, 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 really important to the upcoming story.
Oh yeah.
Well,
like he's a linchpin.
Look who's the big guy coming in too. Like now you have Thanos, who's got all this.
Dude! Oh my gosh!
You got these otherworldly powers and magics and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
So did they talk about doing the Infinity Gauntlet? Is that a go?
Infinity War. And it's gonna be part 1 and 2. It's the next 2 Avengers movies.
Really?
I heard they're gonna get renamed though. It might not be Infinity War Part 1 and 2. I think it's gonna be called like.
It's gonna be Infinity Disagreement 1, and then Infinity.
The Infinity Argument.
Pillow Fight 2.
Right.
That's just no.
Dawn of Injustice is what it's gonna be called.
What is it?
Dawn of Injustice.
Dawn of Injustice.
Dawn of Avenging.
Dawn of Infinity. No,
when you said Dawn of, I thought you said Donovan.
Yeah, Donovan.
So Dawn of Infinity.
Dude, did you see they redid Thanos' look too?
Yes, Josh Brolin. Okay, is that official though?
Dude, he looks.
No,
he doesn't look purpley and cartoony anymore, dude. He looks sick.
Josh Brolin?
No, dude.
Come on.
His look.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
he looks.
come on. In Guardians, it was Josh Brolin.
He looks way better.
Yeah.
He looks way better.
Oh, I can't wait to see that.
He's not as poofy. He's not as purple.
Yeah.
He's like, it's tighter and it's.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is coming out as well.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Spider-Man movie's about to come out.
Is that exciting?
It's exciting. You didn't like Guardians of the Galaxy?
I did not like it. I just.
You didn't like the dance off.
Well, who did?
The dance off lost the whole movie for him.
It was, but I went into that movie with zero expectations. I didn't know anything about it. And I'm like, I'll watch this movie, and it was fun.
That's where I was at, and I feel like that's where I'm kind of at with Doctor Strange.
But you guys yell at me for
Guardians
the
of the Galaxy.
thing.
I went in, I was just like,
I didn't yell at you for the Martha thing.
Everyone yells at me. They're like, oh, you're fixated. How that ruins the whole movie. Oh, the dance off ruins that whole movie. Come on.
Excuse
me. Oh wait,
yeah.
No, I thought you were saying that the Martha thing was amazing. Martha thing was amazing.
I think that's a really stupid reason to dislike that movie too, because the rest of that movie was fantastic.
Dude, in the poster, there's an animated raccoon. Like, if you go into that with high hopes,
bro, I saw a trailer for that, and I was like, dude,
fault.
I honestly don't even want to see this movie.
Yeah.
And then I don't even know who dragged me to see that movie, but I saw it, and I was like,
great time.
Dude, that movie was fun.
Yeah, it was really good.
So, and that's kind of how I feel about Doctor Strange.
Dude, if you went into a movie with an animated raccoon and thought it was going to be like the shit, then that was like, that's your fault.
But you can't even say that, because the animated raccoon had some of the heaviest parts.
That's what I'm saying.
Rocky was awesome.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Viewers, look at this. This is the new Thanos makeup.
Oh, holy shit. Let me take another look at that.
Yeah, we'll post that later.
Very cool.
This will be our Killing Joke still frame.
I'll put this in the I'll put this in the video.
All right, cool.
Have you guys seen this Thanos?
Yes.
That's
it looks good.
brilliant. Thank God for that.
Well, to everyone, thanks for listening. The Killing Joke was really good. I mean, I think that we all enjoyed it. Definitely go see it. It's dark and it's twisted and it's very
Don't
intense.
show it to your fucking kids.
Yeah, it's intense.
Yeah,
There's nothing cute. There's nothing cute about this movie, but it's very good. It's very well written. They did a very good job with it.
Yep.
Go see these trailers, especially the Wonder Woman one. That's
we
my favorite.
On there.
Go to the page.
On Facebook for sure.
The Comic Book Courtroom, or is it just Comic Book Courtroom? How do we have it?
Comic Book Courtroom, and tell us which one is your favorite. Tell us what trailer we missed, or yell at us that our opinions are wrong.
Which one of us is the most sexy?
Share, subscribe, like, dislike. Just do all of that YouTube shit, guys.
Sexy.
Whose butthole do you want to touch the most?
Okay.
And here's to crime.